Hi, welcome to Peace Donkeys. Today I'm going to show you how to do this crochet blanket, and it's got these lovely little squares interwoven into it. I'm using this wool here, it's called Crypto, and I really like this wool because, as you can see, it doesn't change colour super quick, and you get this really nice effect of these colours changing throughout the fabric as you go, in a nice gentle change of colour, and it looks quite nice. So I'll go ahead and show you how to crochet this blanket. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe. So I'm going to start off with a slip stitch. Just tighten that up, and you're going to chain 11 chains for every square that you want to make. Okay, you've got 6 across and 5 up, so 6 plus 5 is 11. Now I've made this piece of work 25 squares from one corner to the other corner. So I'm going to need 275 chain plus one chain, so 276 altogether. So for me this is going to take a long time. If you're just doing a smaller piece of work, then obviously you'll just work out how many squares you want and then times that by 11. So it's 1 chain, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so that's how this will go. So you'll have, basically you'll have that'll be your bottom, sorry, and these will be your sides. Okay, so that's how that works, and then you'll work those squares in. So that's why each square needs 11 chain. So I'll go ahead until I get to the end of all my chain, and then I'll come back and show you how to start this pattern. Okay, so I've done my 275 chain plus 1 extra chain to start, and as you can see, that's a lot of chain. Okay, so to start you're going to need 7 loops on your hook. Okay, so we're starting off with the first loop here, and we're going to go into the next chain, sorry, not the next one, but the next one to it, and we're going to bring up a loop. So that's our second loop. Okay, and then we're going to go into the next chain and bring up a third loop. Okay, into the next chain, bring up 4 loops, into the next chain, 5 loops, next chain, 6 loops, okay, and the 7th loop is actually going to be the side of the square. Okay, actually I'll just show you. So these 6 loops here, okay, these six loops are the bottom of your square, and we're going to work our way up the side to create the side of the square. Okay, so that the 6 are our bottom and the 5 up side will be the other side of our square. But when you're actually doing it, you're going to actually have 7 loops on your hook. So we'll go into the next one and bring up the 7th loop. So then we'll wrap the wool around our hook, and we're actually going to pull that strand of wool through the next 2 loops. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, so we brought that through those and took off those 2 loops. So we're going to wrap the wool around the hook again, and we're going to go through the next 2 loops. 1, 2. Okay. Wrap the wool around again, and go through the next 2 loops. 1, 2. Wrap the wool around again, go through the next 2 loops, wrap the wool around again, bring it through the next 1, 2 loops, and then we wrap it around again and bring it through the last 2 loops, which leaves us with 1 loop on our hook. Okay, so so we've gone the bottom row up, and now we're going to go back to where we started from to complete that first row. So the way we complete the first row is we put the hook through these vertical lines or vertical loops that we've got here. So try to make that a bit clearer. So that is a vertical loop there. Okay, take the hook out again. Okay, so through that vertical loop there, wrap the wool around your hook and bring it through there, and that gives you 2 loops on your hook. Then we're going to go through the next vertical piece of wool, wrap the wool around, bring it under that loop, and that gives us 3 loops. The first row is a little bit harder to see, but once you get going it'll be much easier to see. Just the very first bottom row is a little bit more tricky than the rest, and the more times you do it, the more you'll get used to it. So under that vertical loop, wrap the wool around, bring it through. So that's 4 loops under the vertical strand, wrap the wool around and bring it through. That's 5 loops. And now this is the last vertical strand on our square here on that bottom row. So we put that underneath there, wrap the wool around and bring it through as well. So there are our 6 bottom loops. Okay, like we talked about before. These are the bottom part of the square, and now the chains that we go into next are going to come up the side and make the side of our square. So in actual fact we will have 7 loops on our hook, but the 7th loop is actually the side. Okay. Now we're not going to go into that loop there because it's already been taken. What we're going to do is we're going to go into the next chain, which is here. Wrap the wool around and bring through the 7th loop. Okay, and you'll see this start to form the side of your square soon. Wrap the wool around and bring it back through 2 loops. Wrap the wool around your hook and bring it through 1, 2 loops. Wrap the wool around again and pull that loop through 2 loops. Wrap the wool around, bring it back through 2 loops. Wrap the wool around again, bring it through 1, 2 loops. Wrap the wool around again and bring it back through the last 2 loops. Okay, so this is the start of row 2. Okay, so every one of these squares has 5 rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we've gone along to our right to make the second row, and now we're going to come back to our left to finish off that second row. So to finish off the second row is when we go through the upright strands. Wrap the wool around, bring it through. That gives us 2 loops. Go into the next upright strand, wrap the wool around, bring it through, so we've got 3 loops. Next upright strand, go under that, wrap the wool around, bring it back, so we've got 4 loops. Next upright, wrap the wool around, gives us 5 loops. Next upright strand is the last upright strand. Okay, I'll just take that out. So you can see this is the last upright strand on this row, and this is our 6th loop, okay, which is our bottom part of our square. So we're going to go into the next chain, which will become our 7th loop. Okay, if you've already got, the way you can tell which chain you're going into next, okay, if this chain here has already got other loops inside it, then you're not going to use that chain. Okay, you're going to use the very next one, which is there. Wrap the wool around, bring through, and that gives us our 7 loops. Okay, again, but you can see that starting to come up the side now and create the side of our square. So now that we've got 7 loops on our hook, wrap the wool around the hook and bring it through 1, 2 loops. Wrap the wool around again, bring it through 1, 2 loops. Wrap the wool around again, bring it through 2, wrap the wool around again, bring it through another 2, another 2, and then wrap the wool around, bring it through the last 2 loops. Okay, so now this is our, so we've just started our 3rd row. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go back through the upright strands of wool to finish off our 3rd row. Okay, so into the upright strand, wrap the wool around your hook and bring it through that strand. So you've got 2 loops. Into the upright strand, wrap the wool around, bring it back under that strand. So we've got 3 loops. Okay, go into the next upright strand, wrap the wool around, bring it through, gives you 4 loops. Into the, under the next upright strand, wrap the wool around, bring it through, 5 loops, and then this is our last upright strand here. Put the hook under there, wrap the wool around and bring it through, and that's our 6 bottom strands, loops of our bottom, the bottom part of our square. So now we're going to go into the next chain to give us our 7th loop, which is actually our side of our square. So into the chain, wrap the wool around, bring it back through. Okay, so we've got 7 loops on our hook. Wrap the wool around, bring it through 2, wrap the wool around, bring it through 2, wrap the wool around, bring it through 2, okay, so that's the start of our 4th row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're going to work our way back by going underneath the upright strand, wrap the wool around, and now we've got 2 loops. Go under the next upright strand, bring a loop up, under the next upright strand, 4 loops, 5 loops, 6 loops. Okay, so for the 7th loop, we're going into the next chain. Okay, so not this chain here that's already got work in it. We're going to go into the next chain. And then we've got our 7th loop. Okay, wrap the wool around, repeat the process through 2, wool around, through 2, wrap the wool around, go through 2, wrap the wool around, go through 2, wool around, through 2, wool around, through 2. Okay, now this is the 5th and final row of this square, so we need to finish off this row by casting off. Okay, we don't want to have 6 loops on our hook as we go back. We're only going to have 1 loop on our hook as we work our way back. We'll still go through the upright strand, wrap the wool around and bring it through, but this time we'll bring it through the remaining loop that's on our hook already as well. Okay, this is casting off. So we go through the next upright strand, wrap the wool around, and we'll bring that through both loops. Okay, go into the next upright strand, wrap the wool around, and bring it back through both loops. Okay, so we're just keeping the 1 loop on our hook as we work our way back on the 5th row. Go through the next upright strand, wrap the wool around, bring it back through both loops, go in the last upright strand, wrap the wool around and bring it through both loops, and then to finish off we'll go into the very next chain, bring a loop through, and then bring it through that existing loop. Okay, so now that becomes the first loop of your next square. Okay, so it'll make sense once I keep going. So we want to have 7 loops on our hook again, just like we did before, 6 for the bottom and 1 for the side. So this is our first loop. Okay, so we're going to go back into the next chain, wrap the wool around the hook, and then we've got 2 loops. Put the hook into the next chain, wrap the wool around the hook, gives us 3. Put the hook into the next chain, wrap the wool around, so now we've got 4, into the next chain, 5, into the next chain, 6. Okay, so there are our 6 bottom loops, and then the 7th one will be the side. Okay, so now we've got our 7 loops on our hook. We're going to wrap the wool around the hook. We're going to do what we did before. We're going to bring it through 2 loops, 1, 2, wrap the wool around again, bring it through 2 loops, 1, 2, wrap the wool around again, bring it through 2 loops, wrap the wool around again, through 2 loops, wrap it round again, through another 2, and then wrap it around and bring it through the last 2 loops that are on your hook. Okay, so that was the first part of the bottom row, and now we're going to go back to finish off the second part of the bottom row, and we do that by going through the upright strand, wrap the wool around and bring it through 1 loop. So that gives us 2 on our hook. Go through the upright strand. Like I said, the bottom row is always just a little bit more tricky than the other strands, but just look for that upright loop, wrap your wool around and bring it back under, and gives you 3 loops. Go into the next upright strand, wrap the wool around, bring it through, next upright strand, go under it, wrap the wool around, bring it through. Okay, and now this is our last upright strand, wrap the wool around and bring it through. That gives us our 6 loops of the bottom row, and now the 7th loop is going to be the side, loop. Okay, sometimes it's a bit hard to see which chain you're in, but if you pull a bottom chain and there's already stitches in there, then you're going to go to the next one. Okay, so we're going to go to the next chain, bring a loop through, that's our 7 loops, wrap the wool around, and we're going to work our way back by pulling it through 1, 2 loops, wrap the wool around, back through 2 loops, wrap the wool around, through 2, wrap the wool around, through 2, wool around, through 2, wrap the wool around and back through the last 2 loops. Okay, so this is the start of our second row. Okay, that was our first row. This is our start of our second row, and we're going to finish off row 2. Put the hook under the side or the upright piece of wool, wrap the wool around and bring it through. Okay, so again we're working our way back so that we end up with 6 loops and then our 7th loop for the side. So 2 under that strand, 3 loops under the upright, 4 loops under the upright, 5 loops under our last upright, 6 loops, and then our 7th loop will be created by going not into this chain because it's already got stitches in there. We go into the very next chain, which is right there. Bring up a loop, and that's our 7 loops. Okay, so our bottom, and this is our side of our square again. Wrap the wool around, bring it through 2 loops. Wrap the wool around, through 2, 2, 2, 2, last 2. Okay, and you can see that's our first square, this is our second square. This is our third row. First row, second row, third row, and we're going to work our way back through the third row, under the upright strand, bring up a loop, next one, 3 loops, 4 loops, 5 loops. Our last upright gives us our 6th loop for the bottom, and then we need to bring up a new chain to make the side of the square. Okay, so into that next chain, that's our 7 loops. Wrap the wool around, bring it through 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and the last 2. Okay, so this is our 4th row, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, working our way back to our 4th row. Under the side, under the upright strand, 2 loops, under, 3 loops, 4 loops, 5 loops, and our 6th loop is our last upright. So to get our 7th loop, we need to go into a new chain, bring through a loop. That's our 7 loops, and we work our way back. 2, cast off 2, take off 2, 2, 2, 2. Now, because this is the last row of our square, okay, our 5th row, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we're going to cast off here so that we only keep 1 loop on our hook as we work our way back. So under the upright strand, wrap the wool around and bring it back through 1, 2 loops. So we still keep that 1 loop on our hook. Go underneath the upright. Okay, we've already been through that strand, so this is our next one. Wrap the wool around and bring it through both strands. Under the upright strand, wrap the wool around, bring it through both strands. Under the next upright, wrap the wool around and bring it through 2. Under the next upright, wrap the wool around, bring it through 2. Okay, because that was our last upright, we need to go into the next chain. Okay, so not this chain here that's already got work in it. We're going into the next chain. Wrap the wool around and bring it through that last chain. And you can see here that's our 2nd, okay? That's our 2nd square. So that is how you're going to keep going along. Okay, I'm about to finish to that last chain. And then you'll just do 1 more chain there. And then chop off your wool. And what you can do later is you can just weave that through, however you want to weave that through. I tend to just go into there and just loop it around, but you can use whatever method you want to do. Okay, so now we're going to go back to where you started on your first square. Okay, and what we're basically going to do is we're now going to add this square into here, and it's pretty much very similar to what we did at the start. So get your wool, do a slip knot, and then you're going to put your hook, okay, into this little section right here, this chain, and then you'll add your wool in wherever you're up to. And as you can see, this wool has slowly transitioned colour from yellow to orange. Oops. Through to red, pink and green. And you can see that in this wool as well, in this fabric as well. So you've attached that to there. You're going to bring that through and then do one chain. Okay, so now we're going to go into each of these little chains here on the top. Okay, so you're going to put the hook through, bring some wool back through, and that's your second loop. Just like we did at the start, we're going to have 7 loops. So that's 2. Go into the next chain, which gives us 3 loops. Into the next chain, wrap the wool around, bring it through, which gives us 4 loops. Into the next one, which is 5. Wrap the wool around and bring it through. Okay, so that's 5 loops. Now we're going to go into here, which is the last part of the bottom square, and then we're going to go into the first chain, or the first space on the second square. So that's our 7th loop. Okay. So we wrap the wool around, pull it through 2, wrap the wool around, pull it through 2, wrap the wool around, pull it through 2, just the same as what we did when we started off. Okay, so that's our first row, and then we're going to go back to complete that first row. So through the vertical loop, wrap the wool around, bring it through. So now we've got 2 loops on our hook. Okay, into the next vertical loop, wrap the wool around, bring it through. So we've got 3 loops. Into the next one, 4 loops. Into the next one, 5 loops. Into the last one on the bottom, which is our 6th loop. Okay, so that's the end of our bottom square, and now we're going to join into this space here. We're going to put the crochet hook into there, which is basically going to join the green to the sides. So we've already joined the green to the bottom, and now we're joining it to the sides. So we go into that space, the next space up, and that's our 7th loop. Wrap the wool around, take off 2 stitches, wrap the wool around, bring it through 2, keep doing that. Okay, so that's the start of our second row of the green. First row, second row. So we're going to finish the second row now by going into the vertical loop, wrap the wool around, bring it through. So we've got 2 loops, 3 loops, 4 loops, 5 loops, and the last the last vertical loop here on the bottom. Gives us 6 loops. And now we're going to go into the side here, and that's our 7th loop. Wrap the wool around, pull it through 2. Keep taking it through 2. Oops. Okay, so you can see there, that's our first row, second row, start of our third row, and we're about to finish our third row. Go through the vertical loop. So now we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, and our last vertical loop, 6. Oops. And our 7th loop is going to be right there. I'll just put that through the other side so you can see where that loop is, that hole is, space, and that's for our 7th loop. Wrap the wool around, pull through 2, all the way back to there. Okay, so that's the start of our 4th row. We're going to finish off our 4th row. Sixth loop. Okay, so now we're going to go into the next space right there. And we're about to start our 5th row. So we've done 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're about to start our 5th row across. And now we're going to cast off, because we're going to finish this green square now. Okay, so into the vertical loop, wrap the wool around and pull it through both of the loops that are on your hook. So we just keep one loop on our hook on the way back when we finish this square. Into the side loop, wrap the wool around, bring it through the first loop and the second loop. Into the vertical loop, wrap the wool around, bring it through 2. Okay, so this is our last vertical loop here. Wrap the wool around, bring it through both loops. And now what we're going to do is we're going to go into this stitch here. So under both of those 2 loops there, pull a loop through, and that's your last loop, and it also becomes your first loop on the next square. Okay, so first loop, okay, under those 2 loops. Okay, hopefully you can see that space there. So just there's a space. Pull a loop through. That's our second loop. Under these 2 again. That's our third loop. Under these loops here. 4th loop. Under here is our 5th loop. Okay, and then our last loop on the bottom of this yellow square. Okay, that's our 6th loop on the bottom. And now we're going to go into this space here, which is the side of that square there. So that's our 7th loop. Wrap the wool around, take off 2 all the way, back to the start of there. So that's your half of your first row done. The second half of your first row is through the vertical loop. So we've got 2, 3 loops under there, wrap the wool around, 4, 5, and our last vertical loop is our 6th, and then we're going to do our 7th loop into the side of the next square. That's our 7th loop. Wrap the wool around, take off 2, work your way back, okay, into the next space right there. Okay, that's your 7th loop. Take off 2 all the way to the end, under your vertical post, and you just keep pretty much repeating that same pattern over and over again. Okay, so we've got our 6 loops. To do our 7th, again we're going to go into that little space there, wrap the wool around and take off 2 each time until you get back with just 1 loop. Okay, that's our start of our 4th row. Our last vertical, so then we're going to go into the side, wrap the wool around, take off 2 again. Oops, I accidentally took off 3 there. Okay, this is our 5th row, so we're going to cast off on our way back, so that we just keep 1 loop on the hook as we work our way back into the upright loop, wrap the wool around, take off both loops into there, wrap the wool around, take off both into there, wrap the wool around, take off both loops. Okay, so we're in the last vertical. So to finish off, we're going to go into the top corner of the next square, wrap the wool around and take off that loop. So again, this loop here becomes the first loop of our next sort of squares.